This week's episode of Psycho Pass, Season 2. Obviously, that ending was a reference to episode 11 or 12 to where Akane couldn't shoot Makishima Shogo with her Dominator. It was obviously a reference to that scene. But I will say this, I understand why it ended like it did. It was mainly the main reason why, technically, Akane did not shoot Kamui, is because there's, like, 6 episodes left, and of course they can't kill off the main villain at episode 6, so, yeah, but I mean, that ending, the only thing that actually excuses that ending is because she doesn't want Togane to turn into another Kogami. That's pretty much what Akane did in that ending sequence. She looked at Togane, it's like, oh, I remember Kogami, so I understand the ending. Just, that ending kind of disappoints me to a little bit. Like, it just disappoints me to a certain extent. But besides that, this episode, for the most part, was pedal to the metal brutal once again for Psycho Pass Season 2. Seeing a bunch of inspectors and enforcers just getting brutally slaughtered in this episode is just damn. I saw a chart. I saw Chibi post a chart to all the living, like, inspectors and enforcers of the different divisions, and pretty much everybody is fucking dead. Everybody is pretty much dead right now. And so, that is pretty fucking insane if you think about it. So, yeah. Now, the episode, for the most part, the overall concept, the drones. The drones are being controlled by this game, and we find out the game is actually like a camera. The cameras have been turned into like a hologram, and you have it to where, like, once the hologram comes undone, you actually see the live camera footage going on through the drone's eyes. And so, pretty much the main objective of this episode of Psycho Pass is to where you have the people back at, you know, the police, so like HQ, trying to deactivate the hologram. For the people that are currently playing the game that are naive, that they're killing people to actually witness what they are doing, and which in turn causes a very interesting ending of this episode where the entire area pretty much has become polluted, Psycho Pass pollution, a lot of area stress levels all over Japan, and it's pretty freaking intense the way the ending is. But there's one thing I want to mention in this episode, okay? It kind of bugs me a little bit. I just want to get out of the way before I start theory crafting, before I start diving deep into this episode. I want to get out certain things I had with this episode that seemed like a little bit of an issue or a writer's way of just having convenient ways to make suspense. The drones. Supposedly, these drones that was revealed this episode, like they're talking about in this episode, these drones cannot shoot each other. If they are to a certain extent like close to each other, they cannot shoot each other. Okay, I can live with that. But last episode, we saw a drone shoot another fucking drone. I'm not joking. Go look at last week's episode. We saw a drone shoot another drone. We find out drones can't technically shoot each other in this episode. And when I went back to make sure I watched it correctly, and I looked at the dialogue, pretty much the drones could not shoot each other to a certain range. For instance, I don't know how long this meter is, how far they have to be apart till they can shoot each other, but the only reason why the drones couldn't shoot each other because they were a certain range between each other, like they were too close. But the drone, I'm guessing, last week was far enough away to be able to kill the other drone. But the thing I'm getting at is that's very convenient. Very, very convenient when it comes to the writing. But it's not just that. These robots that were made with fucking guns and shit, I mean, how would they ever be used? Like, you'd think you would have, like, squadrons of these robots next to each other. Like, you know, going in, trying to take people down. If they have fucking miniguns and stuff, you expect to have, you know, like, kind of a little battalion hunting down criminals and stuff. You'd think you'd have a little bit of, like, 4 or 5 in a pack. But finding out that there has to be a range distance just seems like, what the fuck? I mean, that's just one thing I want to say right now. That kind of bugged me a little bit when I saw that. Because, like, what type of use? They're kind of useless, honestly. That's a very exploitable weakness. That weakness is massive in the designs of those drones. Very fucking bad. Like, oh my god, what was going on with their design decisions when they made those drones? Another thing I want to bring up is the suspense. The way I'm guessing the scriptwriter tried to add suspense in this week's episode of Psycho Pass. It has never been mentioned before, and so I can't call it out or nothing, but supposedly the Dominator has like a bullet limit. When it has Destruction Decomposer, I think that's the full name of it, I might have gotten that wrong, but the Decomposer, to where it destroys robots, it actually has a bullet limit of 3 fucking shots. That's really convenient to add suspense in this episode. I'm just gonna say it right now. That's just like, what the fuck? I mean, of course people are gonna argue saying that there's never been a situation to where it's called for the, like, 3 shots of a decomposer shot, like destroy robots, but you'd think that'd be vital information to already lay the groundwork for in the first season. So, just overall, that aspect kind of bugs me. Moving past the bad, let's actually get into the good stuff of this episode. Okay, Kamui. We find out more about his objective in this week's episode of Psycho-Pass. He is wanting to collect Dominators. It's not just about finding out what color WC everybody is. He is collecting Dominators and he's using them. He seems like he's giving people different Dominators. He's trying to amass Dominators. And this brings up a very interesting question with all the aspects of the Dominators in this episode. Okay, Togane. We found out last week's episode when Mika went to try to turn her boss and Akane tried to get her fired pretty much, and she went to Sybil. Sybil said, talked about Togane, said, yes, I know Togane pointed his Dominator at Akane, I know he activated it and stuff like that. She didn't seem to care at all. Sybil did. Well, what's interesting is, we find out in this episode when Mika looks through the data logs of Togane's computer, at his house, his private residence pretty much, is that he's been checking the Psycho-Pass of Akane every single day. Checking her Psycho-Pass. And since technically the Dominators are connected to Sybil, Sybil should know this information. And if Sybil should probably key in on something very suspicious if Togane is constantly checking her Psycho-Pass every fucking day. So, this right here, I don't know if it's because Sybil is being stupid, or it's an obvious connection with Togane and Sybil. Just obvious connection right there. That's a downright obvious connection. It seems like Togane is probably working for Sybil. Unless Sybil's stupid and can't realize that that's very suspicious with someone pointing a Dominator at an inspector every single fucking day. So that's the only way you can figure out the Psycho-Pass too. So, yeah. Anyways, past that entire aspect of this episode, you have to question and wonder if Sybil is keying in on this, okay? Let's say Sybil is working with Togane. Why would Sybil work with someone like Togane when he wants to dye Akane's Psycho-Pass black? As he states in this episode when his eyes go red and all that, he's like, I want to see how your color is black, like completely black. And, I mean, why would Sybil want to make one of its best investigators that knows its secret and is willing to help Sybil regardless, even though she knows that Sybil's a bunch of fucking brains? Why would they want to turn her into a criminal? An enforcer, or something like that? Why would they want to do that? Unless there's something else going on here, which goes back to my theory I had last week, where most likely Akane has that certain, like, type of, like, syndrome to where she's like Makishima Shogo, like, her Psycho-Pass does not go up no matter what, and maybe Akane is pretty much like this. The way it's pointed at it is pretty fucking obvious that Akane is pretty much similar to Makishima Shogo, and if, Togane is working with Sybil, the only reason why he's testing Akane's Psycho-Pass and checking her every day is to see if she has the same symptoms in, like, Makishima Shogo, to where he doesn't have a Psycho-Pass race. That's the only reason I could say why he's doing that, if he is working with Sybil. If he's still working with Sybil, and he's still checking the Psycho-Pass every day, trying to make her black, then what the fuck is going on here? But anyways, moving past that, Mika, fucking Mika. I've said it enough. I've said it almost every fucking review, and I will say it again until she gets her act together. She wanted Akane's Psycho-Pass to get clouded in this episode. What the fuck is wrong with you, Mika? Wishing that on your boss, that's fucked up, man. It's like saying you want someone you care about, or even your boss or anyone, to get fucking imprisoned. That's fucked up. No, I mean, she realized what she said was kind of wrong, but it doesn't change the fact what she fucking said. No! Oh my god, Mika, I hate you. I hate you so much. I seriously do. You're one of the worst characters from Psycho-Pass 2, or one of the worst characters from this season of anime. Seriously, she's definitely one of the worst. The way she acts, her attitude, her personality, the way she just, ugh. Fuck. How many examples does she have to see until she realizes you can't always follow the book? You can't always follow the manual of the rules to get the job done. It's already been proven time and time again since Psycho-Pass Season 2 started, and she still doesn't seem to grasp that situation. She doesn't. I mean, The only way that it was possible to save all the inspectors and enforcers at that moment and stop other people from coming into the game, this hologram game, and killing more people, was to show everybody what was going on. But if they didn't do that, there would have been more people that would have been joining into the game, playing with more drones, and killing people unaware, and it would have been even worse. The overall psychopath pollution would have been worse overall if they didn't reveal the hologram. So Mika, just shut the fuck up and learn. You can't follow the manual. You can't. You can't always follow it. Some rules are meant to be broken. It's already been proven in the first Psychopaths. I mean, seriously, Makishima Shogo, it's right there. It's fucking proven. Another thing, too, you have it to with, Kamui this episode. He couldn't be detected by the Dominator, which is kind of fucking weird, but he couldn't be detected by the Dominator, and so it proved for another aspect with a real gun, or something different beyond the manual that Sybil system allows. So, past that, the episode. There's a couple things that's going on in this episode. There's a lot of weaknesses that Sybil system is starting to show in this season of Psychopaths. For one thing, we've already seen how pretty much innocent civilians can be corrupted and have their psychopath levels, their stress levels raised up to where they get killed and slaughtered like it's nothing. Innocent people that had nothing to do with anything getting slaughtered. We saw that demonstrated. Well, we see multiple weaknesses constantly popping up with each individual episode, and this episode demonstrates once again more massive problems. You have people that are killing people without the intent to kill. For instance, the hologram game. They're using fucking drones, playing a game, and they're actually killing people, unaware. And this, once again, proves another vital flaw of Sybil system. And it's not just that, it goes even further. One of the most massive fatal flaws of Sybil system to date. And it's actually even worse compared to innocent civilians being shot. It's a very, very fucking bad flaw, is the ability to someone to steal a freaking inspector's eye and implant it in their freaking head for they can actually use the Dominator. Are you fucking kidding me? That is a massive, massive, massive flaw. Like, that's a fucking serious flaw. Like, that is bad. You should not be able to steal an inspector's eye and use it and then be able to activate those Dominators because you have that eye. The only reason why I could say this can work, for Kamui, only Kamui, I could see it only working. Maybe because he cannot be detected by the Dominators. And so since he can plant another person's eye, the only thing they can, detect from him is the inspector's eye. That's the only reason why I could say Kamui can use this weakness. Maybe not everybody can use this weakness because they've already been identified by Sybil system. Maybe that is the reason. I could be on something there. I mean, maybe it's only Kamui that can use this eye weakness, but if it isn't, and it's proven to show us that other people can do it too, that is like fucking massive flaw. Like Sybil, you need to get fingerprint displays, like where you got fingerprints on the Dominator. You need to have something to where it can detect the eyes along with the fingerprints, and you need to be able to, like, I don't know, just do some form of freaking scan on someone. I mean, it's just, like, damn, that's a fucking, oh my god. Okay. Shisui, I think that's the inspector's name of this episode. She's currently working with Kamui. I want to say this right now. I'm not really liking Shisui's character. Like, I mean, she got abducted, and she got forcefully, her eye got removed by Kamui, and then her eyes being used inside of Kamui's head to activate Dominators. I'm not liking the personality of Shisui. I don't think she really had any major development in Psychopaths. Like, I don't fucking remember. I'm sorry. I just don't remember much about her. She was shown a lot in Season 1, but I'm just not liking her personality. It just feels very shallow and forced. I want to be honest. It feels very forced when it comes to her character, the way she's, like, technically worshipping Kamui. That's pretty much how she acted in this episode. It's like, I'm glad my eyes have used to you. That's pretty much how she acted. I'm like, what the fuck? It's just, the way she acted, her personality just did not feel right. I mean, I don't know how I'd feel if my eye got fucking stolen. I mean, even if my psychopath levels were lower down, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been in that situation where I had my eye stolen and then had to worry about my psychopath levels, but just her overall personality, the way she's acting and technically, like, worshipping and bowing before the person that stole her eye, just kind of weird. It's weird with me. Now, one thing though. Episode, it's good. Even though it seems like I'm pointing out a lot of issues, it just, some things bug me a little bit because of the convenience in the way the scriptwriter tried to build suspense in this episode. But for the most part, the episode was solid. It was a very solid episode. It's not that bad, it isn't. It just, certain little things bug me a little bit. It does. And I don't know if it bugs everybody else as much as it did me, but the episode is still damn good. I still love Psycho Pass 2. It's a great series. It just, hopefully we won't see something like this element used again, especially with some of these questionable things like with the drones. That's one of the biggest issues I have from this episode, was the drone convenience with the suspense, with the Dominators and stuff. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love y'all so much. You have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.